Hey everybody, this is Spencer with Elmo Back and Body. We're going to go over a series of wall squats. So this is part of our glute activation series. So we've already talked about bridges, we've already talked about some mule kicks. We're moving on to standing position now. So the reason I like this exercise with the ball on the wall is that you can kind of get out of balanced position and force emphasis on certain muscles that when you're doing a standing balance squat, you're not going to be able to notice quite as much. So I like this as the starting point before you move on to like an air squat or a normal squat. So what we're going to do, Corey's going to help us here. You're going to have some sort of stability ball against a wall, and you're going to be starting with that ball about right on the top of your tailbone, right below your low back. Your feet, if you were standing in a normal upright position against the ball, you want to walk your feet forward maybe about a foot length, because we want to actually be leaning back a little off our feet, so you wouldn't be able to stay balanced in this position without the ball, which is why we're using it. So what we're going to have Corey do is, as he inhales, he's going to lower down into a squat, and he's going to try to push his butt below and behind the ball. So he's actually going to roll down into a squat position, let his chest come forward, and shove behind. And then exhale, engage the glutes, and fire back up, pushing into his heels. So there's a couple different pieces going on here. We're exaggerating the hip hinge. So in a regular squat in the gym, you're going to try to stay a little more upright in the chest. We're actually letting the chest come forward to exaggerate the idea of hinging at the hips and keeping a neutral low back. So as Corey comes under, he's pushing under with the ball with his butt, getting it back, sitting onto his heels, and then really doubling down and pushing onto the heels as he comes back into position. This will force activation of the glutes and won't let you cheat in it too much out of the quads like all of us like to do. So you can add a lot of complexity to this. Start with the wall squats, get the pattern down. 15 reps is plenty, 10 to 15, somewhere in there. If you want to start adding complexity, you can add a weight to your pin it in here against your chest and just add a little bit of extra weight that way. You can also add it just hanging in one hand like a suitcase. And you can put them in both hands if you want, or I actually like just keeping it in one hand. It creates a little bit of cross stability, which is kind of a normal motion you're going to have to accomplish in life. And then the other one you can do is you can rack, if you want to add some difficulty, is rack it overhead. And keep it up overhead. This adds a little bit of challenge because now thoracic stability, you're going to have to sit upright a little more. Your shoulder's going to have to open. You're going to have a whole other level of complexity. And if you really want to mess with it one more level, bottom end up overhead. Keep that there and fire down, and that's really going to challenge shoulder stability and mobility, thoracic mobility, all that. But go ahead and bring the weight down. Start with no weight, sitting against the wall, firing the butt under, pushing into your heels and driving back up. That's really give you a good idea of what it feels like to activate your glutes at the bottom of a squat. Have fun.